fucking had the mic muted the entire, not muted, but I had it, Celeste, I was asking, like, she's confused, she's listening. Sorry, I had the mic confused, or the mic muted on YouTube. Yessie, have you been feeling really kind of like just unhappy, or just, it feels like you're holding on to a lot of energy right now? It feels like you're holding on to a lot of energy where you're kind of unhappy or discontented about something. But knowing her, she probably is. Yeah, she always disagrees when I need to, Yessie, I don't think you've picked up on this yet, but most of the time when I ask you these questions, it's rhetorical. It's more of a statement rather than a question. Meant to get you to open up about it. What's been happening? Not too much, Celeste. But earlier I was trying to ask you is it feels like you have a lot of questions held in your heart right now. Why, hello, Psychic Eve. And it's not necessarily unhappy, but it's more of kind of a lighter sense of that, where it's kind of like you're just, you're not content with kind of situations as they are, or some situation or situations that have arisen. Hi, Psychic Eve. She said, yeah, she can see that. Okay. Do you feel kind of like a weight in your solar plexus? And Clarissa, if you need to point out the solar plexus to her. Wait, is that to me? That was to you, Celeste. I was asking, it feels like you have a lot of weight, or like a lot of questions in your heart, but everything else I was saying was for someone on TikTok. Well, Larissa's sister in particular. I am doing wonderful, Psychic Eve. I wouldn't say it's exactly as strong as bitterness. Okay, did you want to do a reading in a bit, Celeste? I wouldn't say it's so much bitterness, but there's just this uneasy feeling on you. You do? Okay, we can do a private reading. I'll send you the invoice, since it sounds like I'll be doing that in a bit. Here, I'll send you the invoice while we're still online, and then we can get that all taken care of in the agreement, and then we'll jump into your reading when I get a chance. And I'm going to be blunt, Yessie, is what you have on you right now, it's like a weird form of jealousy, or it's kind of like you envy perceived change in people and wish you could be in that position. So it's not exactly jealousy, but it's a desire to want to, it's a negative rooted desire to be better. It's more of a question of, why do I have to go through this? I'm so sorry to hear that, Cozy. Like, can you see that, Yessie? Oh, okay, you can't right now. Okay, gotcha, Celeste. Yessie, I feel like we need to get your mindset to shift. I feel like we need to get your mindset to shift. Gotcha, Charlotte. Well, Charlotte, if you want to, we can absolutely do a paid reading and look into that. But I feel like we need to start shifting that kind of mindset and attitude, and start kind of pushing out that that negative energy over time. Hi, Tara. It's $30 for a reading. It's 6 minutes long. Link is in the bio for payment methods, and I'll gladly answer that and whatever else you have other than law, pregnancy, medical, and financial advice. But yes, see, I feel like we need to start kind of shifting that mindset. I'm seeing a psych. Oh, you are? Celeste, it will go well. Don't allow yourself to be kind of that glass is half empty approach. But yes, see, I feel like we need to shift that mindset of yours. I think, you know what, Yessie? I think we should do a reading for you. Like a 30-minute reading just dedicated to reading and not energy healing. Did you want to do that? That way I can kind of fully, kind of see what's going on and then advise you from it. $90. She needs an energy reading, not a card reading. Not today, but she wants to. Does she want to do it tomorrow? I can get her written up for it tonight, and then we can schedule it for tomorrow. Okay, I'll send that over to her, and then I'll send the agreement, and then we'll do that tomorrow. And just as like last time, as we did the, but should I be away from that? Yeah, I think that's something that we should do in private for her. I want to dive into her stuff. Yeah. But I'll send you the agreement, Yessie, and then we'll and then tomorrow just give me a call whenever, or text me whenever, and then when you have a good idea of what time you want to do that, and we will do that. Sometimes when you read me, it kind of feels like you're sorting through my thoughts when you tap. Most readings, honestly, a good amount of readings that I deal with, it is, I've noticed that it's a lot of kind of like organizing thoughts and better sifting through and understanding situations we're going through and coming to terms with them, and better navigating them from that. That is ultimately one direction a reading can go, is you deal with people who've just had a lot going on and they need that kind of exterior help processing that information to better move forward. Another one is advice on usually the direction of a reading can go is advice on how to navigate a situation, not so much as like they processed it, but just how do I get through this, or what are the outcomes going to be if I take these actions. All right, wonderful. Yessie, I got your reading. I just need to do the agreement, and we'll do that tomorrow. And yeah, just let me know, Yessie, and then we'll do your reading. When you tap into a person or ask about, do you get them to think about me and read that? When you tap into a person I ask about, do you get them to think about me? No, it's actually a little bit different than that. So what I'll usually do is I'll draw a connection. Like, I will kind of be in the middle, and I'll pull in a connection and kind of connect it through me. and then I'll see how your energy interacts with each other, and then base it off of that. If there's a push from their direction, this means that they're being too forceful. If you're pushing, it means you're being too forceful. If you're kind of like, there's a gap in between that, that means there's a disconnect. So it can be a variety of things, but more often than not, is me acting as an intermediary and bringing both of your connections into me, and then seeing how they interact when I read them. Or and that can also be extended to situations. So like if you're asking, what's the outcome going to be of my job? I'll take the idea of that outcome of the job and connect to it, and then connect you to it, and then see if that energy flows from that job and what it feels like as it's flowing towards you. So if it feels like really kind of broken up, or very kind of empty or hollow, it's likely meaning you're likely going to be losing a job. Or if you feel like it'll always start off at a certain energy, and then once I run that idea by it, if you're going to get like a promotion or something, or an advancement, that energy will grow. It'll be like a lot more energy coming from it. So that's the interpretation of if you're going to get a promotion or whatnot. But the thing is it could be like intermittent too. So like it may fire and then not fire. That is more of like, it's not 100%, or it may be kind of like a bit stronger but not as strong. That's more of like, this is probably not 100% thing. That means there's things that can interfere with that energy. Yes, it's very intuitive. It's mostly through feeling. Believe it or not, I had to go through a lot of different readings to really kind of better understand. And since I've been doing this for years, but I have to, for me to understand it, I have to kind of feel it and put words to it to better understand it and describe it. So it was a big learning experience with a lot of kind of when I was younger, to be guided to understand what it was I was feeling. Before I could do it professionally, I was a stand-in, like I was being overseen by my grandmother to do that work. And you listen to your spirit guides for that. Yes. Yeah. But that's usually a lot more kind of in-depth things where energy can't really tell much. If the energy feels way too broken up or hard to interpret, I just default to the spirit guides. But more often than not, the spirit guides are going through the energy unless they directly have to say something. And sometimes it comes through loud and clear, other times it's like, eh. And so I have to refer to the energy on that one, where they're kind of like figure it out type of a thing through the energy. But yeah, it's a very interesting way to understand people's energy when you truly know how to tap in and to better understand. And the with the spirit guides is kind of like it's a simple question. You don't have to ask me about it. So I usually default to energy first, and then I ask the spirit guides if the energy feels way too disjointed, which means they have a lot of blockages, and it's hard to get clear information from their energy because their energy is just so blocked up. And that in itself can be a tell that this person is going through a lot of BS or has gone through trauma or whatnot. And a good way to also tell is how someone's energy is if you notice that their energy is really bad. For me, I can tap into what is called clairalience, which every energy has a very specific scent depending on what type of energy it is. For people who suffered abuse, it's usually a musty smell that the person will carry. I normally don't default to clairalience. That's when I need to have a little bit more information if their energy is very bad. For someone who, hello TLC, for someone who is dealing with a ton of negative energy, like an entity type of a thing, generally their energy is going to smell like sewage, or it'll have like this rancid or a very sharp smell. The best way to describe the smell is sharp. Like it's kind of like it pierces your nose, like you're getting needles stuck in. You won't feel the pain, but it has that sensation of something being stuck up there that's very sharp. But that's if that kind of sharpness comes through, that means this person's doing really bad. And how do you ask spirit guides? I just energetically send the thought to them, and then the thought comes to me. It's through prayer. And more often than not, you won't even know which way I'm reading if you were just watching me. You might see me close my eyes for a second when I ask about it, and I might take a deep breath. But more often than not, you won't really be able to tell which avenue I'm going through to understand the energy. Usually there's a lot of different information coming in all at once, and it's just my job to put it all together and then to deliver it in a way that you can understand it, rather than me saying, yeah, my nose, it feels like something sharp's in my nose. You're not going to know what that means. I have to translate that to you. Hi, Quariana. If you want a reading, they're $30 and they're 6 minutes long. Link is in the bio for payment methods. And I'll gladly answer that. But yeah, and this is why I say cards are more for you than for me. I don't need them. They're nice to look at, and it does, I won't have to tap into energy if I use cards, necessarily. I can, but I still do anyways. I still read the energy a little bit, just not as strongly, if it's for a card, because it gives me a lead-in. Unless we go into much more in-depth stuff, I'll say, hey, this type of stuff needs to be energy. What if you want to read your own energy? No, that's too difficult. See, Clarissa, the difference is, reading energy, it needs to be a difference between my own energy, the situation, and your energy, and whatnot. You can't tell. It's hard to differentiate from your energy to your energy. Do cards help you? Yeah, they do, but more often than not, I don't need them because I'm just prey on it. And I receive my answer. I low-key don't know if I'd like to be honest. You think I could ever get into tarot? For someone who hasn't been practicing, it already has issues with protection and struggles with their energy, unless you got something blessed by us, you're going to make yourself very vulnerable. I'm just going to be perfectly honest. If you want to, if you want no chance of like negative energy getting into your information, you would either have to be really experienced at protection, know what you're doing, or at least have tools that are blessed in a way with that understanding and that protection. Does that make sense, Celeste? And generally, more often than not, I suggest oracle cards. I personally connect with oracle cards a lot more, but you may connect with tarot more. But you can always get one of my old decks and you'll know it's reliable. Like, it has everything it needs to do readings. So, that is one way you can do. If I ever take a deck out of my rotation, that I have another copy of, I can always sell it. Or if you're requesting a deck, I can get a new copy of the deck, and then I can just sell you mine. That way it has all the energy work it needs on it. Or you can get a new deck. Like if you're like, I'd rather have a new deck rather than the ones you've used so often, we'll get a copy, we'll bless it for you. We'll get all the energy on it that we need to, and then we can sell that one to you. But you would probably have to pay ahead of time for that. That's fair enough. Yeah. I'm not sure if I get into it yet. And I'm not suggesting you do. You're already extremely vulnerable in terms of your energy anyways. You need to work on your own energy, or have your own energy worked on first before you really start diving into that. For now, readings are good. And more often than not, this is one thing that is actually a big deal that I'm going to talk about is tarot and oracle cards. You should always take it in a way, you should always assume that you're messing up and it's trying to tell you you're messing up, rather than reassurance that everything's okay. Yeah, like your negative thoughts. But you should always take your cards in a form of criticism rather than affirmation. That is one thing I will teach you. If you are going to read yourself, take them as criticism, not information that you're doing great and everything is fine, unless it's a very clear message. More often than it, and only then, it doesn't come up often. Usually they're going to be more critical of you. Cards that are good, and that's important. It's important that those cards are critical to you, because just stroking your ego does nothing for you. Yeah, most of the time it's very critical, and the time where it's reassurance is when you're going through a really tough time, and it comes out glaringly obvious. Like, it would be something like this. I want to do 3. Even this is slightly critical with these 3. Like, if you got something like this, these 2 on its own would be a very positive sign, like, oh, you're going to receive wonderful news, the gift of sacred sight. But you can achieve great things implies that you're not doing enough. See, this is already critical. Even though I got 2 positive cards, I can also understand that it's critical of you, because it's saying that you're missing your potential. Yeah, which tells me, Celeste, is if you're reading for yourself, you're going to have a tough time with the criticism on your own, unless it's digested by someone who can actually understand it and piece it together in a positive way. That for me, oh my god. Yes. It's wasted potential because of, but it also implies that you can do better and you can get those results you want. It's just you're wasting your potential by holding yourself back. AKA your negative thoughts. Oh, I forgot to turn back on my lines. I clocked you? What do you mean I clocked you? Francis, do you have time to teach me that thing I sent a screenshot of later this week? Yeah, I can teach that later this week. It will have to be on live, otherwise I would have to do a paid reading for you to explain the whole thing and teach it in depth if we do it solo. So we have those 2 options. 1, it can be online and I'll just do it. Or 2 is we do that one-on-one class, which is about 30 minutes or so, for like question and answer and such. And we do it in private, and I walk you through it. I think we should do the one-on-one, though, to walk you through it, because if I'm online, I could have my lines on, and it could ring, and it gets interrupted. Why do I want a reading now? Because you want to... I told you, Celeste, I felt there was a lot of questions on you. You want a reading? Okay. Let me turn off my lines, then. But I can... You still do teaching classes? Yeah. It would be a 30-minute class. The last one for the time. Yeah, that's fine, Celeste. I'll send you over your thing. I knew it. I knew I could feel it on you. I could feel the one for that reading. Still the 23rd, right? Yeah, still the 23rd. All day today. But for Celeste, it's the 24th. Okay, I just sent you the agreement. Let me confirm. Just do the agreement, and then we'll... Oh, wait. Celeste, it's showing as unpaid. So you might want to double check that. It's showing as unpaid. Here, I'll send you a screenshot of it. Don't worry, I won't flash it over on live. Oh yeah, I already sent it. Sorry, it was in WhatsApp. Sorry, I thought you did that. I was just taking care of this before I signed off. Wow, basic 46 minutes flew by so quickly. I know you have a Sodalite one, Clarissa, but you can't help but admire this one. Look at all the matrix on it. That one kind of looks like a sword. And that kind of looks like a dinosaur. Like a T-Rex, kind of, with a really stumpy tail. That kind of looks like a turtle. Celeste, did you check the WhatsApp? I sent everything over there. What's the orange part in it? This is all matrix on it. It's just stone. The white is quartz on it. And this is what we call stickolite. It's a form of a crystal that appears as a sticker with a number on it. Celeste, are you there, hon? Oh, okay, got it. Perfect. I sent it over WhatsApp. I got a new cat and was watching for me. Oh, good. So Celeste got a new cat. No, I think Clarissa wants cat pictures. Yeah, apparently Celeste got a meow meow. And them on Instagram, Celeste. All right. But yes. All right, wonderful. And then just do the agreement, and then we're good. And then we're golden. make sure my lines are off. Perfect. Alright, we're gonna hop off, everyone. Talk to everyone later.